Hey guys, welcome to this cottage. I'm still here at Fortuna Pond, and I thought I'd go over how I find spots like Fortuna Pond and free boondocking or overnight spots. And yeah, that's what this video is about, so let's get to it. So I'm going to start with how I find these locations. The two main apps that I do use are Campendium, which is both for iOS and Android, and the other one that I mainly use is iOverlander. Uh, Both of those show your locations for overnight places such as Walmart's, Cabela's, Costco's, etc., whether you're allowed to stay or not. And there are rest areas on there. There's the BLM land that you can find, state trust land. You can find laundromats, where to get water, where to get propane, dump stations. They're very convenient to have. I don't know how people did it before there were all these apps, that's for sure. The third app that I use a lot would have to be Google Maps. I like Google Maps so much better than any other map app that's out there. I like the features on it, such as your timeline and location sharing and offline maps. Offline maps is very convenient in certain locations where you don't have data. But if you download maps for the area, such as when I was in North Vancouver Island, I was able to download offline maps and still find wherever I needed to go with the offline maps. So very convenient to have that. I think that's it for my mostly used apps on the phone anyway. So that would be Campendium, iOverlander, and Google Maps. Those are my three choices of the apps that I use the most. Let's get into overnight stays. So, overnight stays are exactly what it means. You're just staying overnight in a place if you're traveling somewhere, such as when I'm traveling from BC down here to Arizona or California, or even Ontario to BC or wherever. You need places to stay overnight as you're traveling there, with it being like thousands of kilometers to get where you're going. So there are places like I said on the apps, there are Walmarts and Cabela's and Costco's and Home Depots, and there are rest areas on the highways. There are many places. I find them all on the apps on my phone. Um, Most of the truck stop parking lots like Love's and Pilot, Flying J, all those have parking lots for truckers, and usually you go in and ask if you can park there, and they usually let you park behind the building or somewhere, or in their gravel lot with the truckers, but it's going to be loud back there with the truckers because a lot of them leave their engines running overnight. But it's also convenient at a Pilot or Flying J because they all have shower facilities there, so you can have a shower for, I think they're about $12 to $15 these days. So that's another convenience of staying at a truck stop per se. Another good overnight stay would be casinos. Uh, they're listed on iOverlander as well, telling you whether you can stay or not. Sometimes you have to check in at the front desk and leave your license plate, but it's quite a safe area as far as I'm concerned because they usually have security driving around the parking lot at night and so on. So that's definitely another good spot for overnight stays. I almost forgot to mention Cracker Barrels. I've stayed at a lot of Cracker Barrels on my travels throughout the U.S. They're really nice. They have actual RV parking at the back with longer parking spots that you can fit in. And it's always nice to go in for a breakfast before you go for a long drive, so Cracker Barrels is another good spot. Now, some people talk about stealth camping on city side streets and so on. I rarely ever do that, just because I don't feel that I'm very stealth. With having the bike rack on the back, and you can see my air conditioner on top, and solar panels, and the windows, and so on. I just don't feel that I'm stealth, so I don't like doing it. I don't like to get a knock on the door. I've only had it once in my life, and that was in the Florida Keys. So yeah, not my thing to have a knock on the door. I'd rather be safe than sorry. and have a good night's sleep knowing that I'm in a legal spot to stay overnight. So now on to finding BLM land, how I find places like this, Fortuna Pond and so on. So I look on the apps, like I said, mostly iOverlander, and it's very convenient on there. There are usually reviews on each area. It'll tell you whether you can stay 14 days, whether there's cell service there or not. Um, 100 usually 100% of them are dry camping, but some of them have pit toilets and dumpsters, like this one does. But most of them are just dry camping and pack in and pack out. In the U.S., it's BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management, and or state trust land. And I think with the state trust land, you have to buy some sort of state pass to camp on those spots, but it's usually only like $10 or $20 for a year. And a lot of the state land you can stay on 30 days, where the BLM land is mostly all 14 days. So it's nice and convenient. Stay somewhere for 2 weeks at a time, with gas being so expensive lately and so on. So yeah, that's how I find my spots around here. Now there's also national forest land, which I think is run by the BLM management anyways, so that's included in the BLM land. So in Canada, our BLM land is known as Crown Land. There's lots of camping on Crown Land, it as well as all listed on iOverlander, most of it. But in British Columbia, there are recreational sites all over BC and Vancouver Island. There are free campsites. There's usually a fire pit and a picnic table there, and it's phenomenal how many free campsites there are in BC. I really like it there. I think I'll end up probably moving there when I do finally do get a sticks and bricks house kind of thing. All right, so now on to boondocking etiquette. When you do get to your campsite, don't try and park close to other people. The rule of thumb is to park as far away as possible from other people. We're all there to get peace and quiet and solitude and enjoy our times out there and not disturb other people. So when you get there, park as far away as you can. Obviously, pack in, pack out, take all your trash with you. Don't dump your gray water. Uh, Definitely don't dump your black water. And just be respectful of your neighbors. If you want to be a good person, grab a garbage bag and pick up some of the trash that's lying around if there is some. It's always nicer to leave it cleaner than what you found it. And yeah, just be respectful of your neighbors. Don't disturb anything. Don't cut down trees. Just try and give people space. I'm sure you're looking for space as well when you're getting there. So yeah, park as far away as possible. And places like Fortuna Pond here, where it's only a small little area and that you can park around the pond, you kind of have to park close to each other. You don't have an option. But most BLM lands are very spread out, and you can park wherever you want. So yeah, park as far away from people as possible. I think that's it for finding BLM land. I hope that helps you guys out if you didn't know how to find it or wasn't sure how to find it. I hope that helps out. It's very easy once you start doing it. It's just taking that first leap and doing it. So get out there and enjoy camping. Take care, guys. Talk to you soon.